Liberty Nation with Tim Donner.
As we continue with our B&B panel, the best and brightest from LibertyNation.com, we continue our examination of the future of the Republic with national columnist and Hardland correspondent Sarah Cowgill, socio-political correspondent Jeff Charles, and political columnist Joe Schaefer. It became clear from the first hour of the Biden administration that executive decrees, officially called executive orders, would be the coin of the realm over these next 4 years. This 46th president has shattered all records for use of the executive fiat. But unbeknownst to many, the live possibility exists of changes to the rules of Congress, which would make it even easier for the party in power to essentially cancel the minority party. Add it up, and we're looking at more command and control sought by the federal government than ever. And Sarah, Democrats want to end the long-standing Senate filibuster whereby 60 votes are required in the ordinary legislative process for a bill to become law. How far do you believe the Democrats would go if they succeed in terminating the filibuster, packing the Supreme Court, adding new states, radical climate change legislation, what?
Yeah, all the way to the crash site. They'll go till they can't go any further. We've seen that. We've heard it. They've been talking about it. They've been talking about packing the courts because of Kavanaugh. They've been talking about climate change, re-enlisting in the Paris Accord so we can just pay more money, throw good money after bad for something we're not really, we're one of the leading, climate responsible countries in the world. Yet
That's
here
true.
we are paying for everybody else. I think they will go as far as they can until somebody stops them. And the only people that seem to be able to stop them, well, number one, it was Trump in 2016, but now you're looking at a free-for-all. You've got a rubber stamp, administration at this point. We could do all sorts of damage in the next 2 years and beyond. Because I do not see 2022 coming out in the favor of the conservatives.
Joe, the Senate was instituted by the framers of the Constitution as the upper chamber of Congress that would cool the passions of the day, so to speak, that were expressed by the lower chamber, the House. Does it still function as such? Did it ever? And how would the institution change if the filibuster was eliminated altogether?
Yeah, the filibuster is just not as exciting to me as an issue because I just can't go along with that part of this is the world's greatest deliberative body. Look at the people we have in the United States Senate. These are not the sharpest brains in America today. Kirsten Gillibrand, Amy Klobuchar, Tom Tillis, Mitt Romney. Are these the best and the brightest? I don't think so. Have we ever had the best and the brightest? Certainly not in my lifetime.
Only on this panel.
I was coming of age a long, long time ago, and I remember who was in the United States Senate: Ted Kennedy, Chris Dodd, Bob Packwood. Come on, this was not a bunch of Greek philosophers sitting around in Athens dazzling us all with their genius. And, go back in history, and you know this better than I do, Tim, but weren't they caning each other in the 1850s? So, it wasn't, this lofty discourse.
Well, they had a duel, for heaven's sake. Aaron Burr and Alexander Hamilton had a duel, which resulted in the death of one of them in the House chamber.
I always thought it was more myth than reality with that, and it's especially laughable today when we all know we have the worst. This country has the worst political hacks, I think, in the history of democracy. We just have these avaricious, ambitious, dull, shallow ladder climbers, and the idea that the filibuster is going to preserve their sacred right to discourse, it just doesn't fly at all. And I think what we really need is more contempt for Congress today. I think that is a healthy instinct by the American people. So I don't want to hear this lofty stuff. We should have contempt for these people because we have contemptible people in Congress right now.
Jeff, you get to follow Joe, and that's not an enviable position, but one of the first things that comes to mind about eliminating the filibuster is that it will ultimately backfire on the Democrats, as it did when Harry Reid got rid of the filibuster for judges in lower federal courts, thus enabling Mitch McConnell to take the next step when the GOP gained control and abolish the filibuster for the Supreme Court, without which none of the three Trump appointees to the high court could have or would have been confirmed. Is this move to essentially cancel Republicans a short-sighted view by the left, or a clever way to capitalize on the control they have over the federal government, which they know will not last?
Well, actually, I'd like to cede my time back to Joe because what he said is like the most important part of this thing. I mean, even the question that you just asked illustrates what Joe was saying. I mean, it's kind of surprising to me because it's usually Republicans in government who are short-sighted and refuse to play the long game. They're usually making this stupid mistake. But with this particular issue, it's the Democrats who are making the stupid decision. Now, on one hand, it might seem smart because, like you said, they can, if they were to get rid of the filibuster, they can ram through as much as they possibly can. The thing is, though, is that that stuff can be reversed because you took out the filibuster, so it's really not as smart as they think it is.
So I want to pull a WWFT. What would the founders think, or what would the framers think of a system where in both the House and the Senate you need only a simple majority to get legislation passed, as opposed to the current system where we have a simple majority only required in the House, but a supermajority, so to speak, 60 in the Senate, because they didn't describe in the Constitution. There's no clause in the Constitution about how the House or the Senate should vote about majorities and filibusters and that kind of thing.
They would want the constitutional republic. They didn't want a democracy. They wanted a democratic process, but they didn't want a democracy. They didn't want the half of the world to be able to take the other half's stuff, if that's going to put it down and really boil it down to nothing. But they were smart. They put together a system that protected the minorities. They protected the ruling class. They protected, everybody in between the big cities, the rural areas, the small towns. They designed a well-oiled, constitutional republic. The founders are drinking heavily beyond the veil and probably doing a lot of face palms right now. I can't even imagine what they would think if they were here.
Let's look at the way the U.S. Senate was originally meant to function, since we're talking about our founders' wishes. It was the state legislatures would elect the senators, and that was meant to have the senators really be representative of the interests of the states that they are a part of. What do these senators really represent today? Just more federal entrenched power. Congress is a federal entity from stem to root now, and that includes the United States Senate. So all of this, and the Democrats are wise to see it, this is all about federal power over state power. Whatever works at the moment, as Jeff was saying, the Democrats are good at realizing this. Whatever works at the moment is what they're for, and Republicans need to be more about this. But I also think it helps them in the long run. Go back to the states, get things through state legislatures, build your red wall on the state level, and protect the influence and power that states have over our overbearing federal government. That is how you check the power of these out-of-control Democrats, the Biden administration, and it solves really all of these problems moving forward.
Hi, I'm Lisa K. Donner, along with Mark Angelides, Sarah Cowgill, Tim Donner, and Scott Cosenza, and this is Liberty Nation.
Now let's take a look at the LibertyNation.com electoral leaderboard. It's still 238 for Joe Biden.
What if stories and legends can offer us the key to unraveling the hottest political issues of the day and apply their lessons to understanding the chaos of modern politics?
Impeach 45!
Only where freedom of speech is honored can people who look, sound, or think differently be truly free.
If you're discussing something that's difficult, the probability that you're not going to offend each other is zero.
President-elect of the United States of America, Donald Trump.
Donald J. Trump is now president.
With one click, Liberty Nation delivers tomorrow's news.
And remember, liberty.
Today.
All the time and everywhere.
LibertyNation.com.